everybody, this is Glenda with Shaking Hands Art with Fralins and Friends. And last night we read an account from the New International Version of the Bible, and it is God's holy word. I grew up with the King James Version, which a lot of people did, but now last night we did use the New International. It's difficult for a lot of people to understand the King James Version because if you haven't grown up with it or been around it a lot, because it's written back at about the time of Shakespeare, in that time frame. So a lot of the language is ye and thee, thou, and that kind of stuff. And so I just putting that out there. So if somebody said, well, that doesn't sound like this Christmas story I heard. Well, it's because, yes, the wording is more modern. I have got, I'm waiting for this to dry. And then I'm going to paint a nativity scene here. This one will be similar to what we read last night. Okay, I'm going to read you a section here. It's okay. In Matthew, we go back to Matthew in chapter 2. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem, in Judea, excuse me, I need to sit still. During the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star in the east and have come to worship him. When King Herod heard that, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. When he had called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Christ was to be born. In Bethlehem, in Judea. Then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and make a careful search for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me so that I too may go and worship him. After they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen in the east went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother, Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route. Okay. Oops. I just painted some of that a little bit. Doing the Star of David here. Star of David is a 6-pointed star. I knew it could be made by joining two triangles. I just seemed to not be able to get it. So I went out and looked again, and then I was able to figure it out. I don't know. My brain froze for a while. But this is where the light is coming from. It's all coming from this star to guide people to where Jesus is. And I'll probably do more with that later, but right now, let's get that manger scene in here. Okay. So this inn, or whatever they called them back then, they didn't have any extra room for them in there. They were just completely filled up because of the census. Okay, here's why I'm at so far. I haven't gone a lot farther. Okay, this is supposed to be a cow. Or maybe it's a horse. I don't know. Let's make it a horse. Or a donkey. Okay. I've got Mary and Joseph praising God for their child and for the Son of God. They do know who He is. How many of you know what Joseph did for a living? He was a carpenter. Those are halos. They're supposed to be. Oh, I made his white. That's okay. All right. I'm going to put a couple of shepherds. I'm just going to set them down. think I've got to start. I do think I've got to start. But the most important things are baby Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Those are the most important parts, and they're in there. And the donkey, I guess, or colt that she rode on is back there, and there's some sheep and shepherds. If I can figure out a cow, I'll put a couple of cattle in there. And I need an angel. So I'll work on those tomorrow. I am frustrated with myself, and that just gets me more frustrated with with everything I do. So yeah, I love you all. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.